how to view data using the select statement. Alright, we've got everything set up now. We're ready to start doing some stuff with SQL. We're going to see and write our very own SQL statement in this unit. We'll be able to see the data in our database. This is the most common way to interact with databases, and it's probably the method that you'll use the most as well. It will let you get data from a database to use in a website or a program that you're building, to run a report at work, or to put data into Excel, or for any other reason you have for using an SQL database. So let's take a look. So far in this course, we've installed the programs that we need, and we've set up a connection to our database. We're now ready to start learning the SQL language. So in this lesson, we'll learn about the most common statement, and this statement allows us to get data from our database and see what it looks like. To view data from the database, we use the select statement. It's called the select statement because you select which records in your database that you want to view. Remember that diagram we saw earlier in the course? This represents what the select statement does. On the left, we have a table that represents our car dealership. It shows some information about our cars, such as a Honda Civic and a Ford F50. Let's say we just wanted to see the Honda Civic and the Hyundai Accent cars. We would then write and run a select statement to get just those records. The select statement starts with the word select. Then we put in some information after the select word. So using the select word, how do we know what we want to see? How does the computer and the database know what we want to see in our statement? We can't just type the word select, right? That's right. We need more information along with the select statement. So let's take a look at the select statement in Mysql Workbench so we can show you what we mean. Once you open Mysql Workbench, you'll see this screen here. You should have one grey box here that represents the connection to your database. Now, click on this box here. In a few seconds, it should open up a screen that looks like this. We'll go through what's on this screen later in this course, but for now, we just need to know a few things. On the left is a navigation menu. It contains a lot of options that we don't need to know about right now. On the top is a menu with options. It has some icons as well as some menus that you can click on to contain more commands. And this big white area and the main part of the screen is your query window. This is where you will write and run queries against the database, and it's a main area that we'll look at. We're going to have a look at the select statement. But before we do, we need to actually have a database in our system that contains some data. We've prepared a file for you that you can run to create the database and put the data in there. All you'll have to do is open it and run it. To do this, you can follow these steps. Click on the File menu at the top left here. Then click on Open SQL Script. An open window will appear. You'll need to download a file from within this course that's called Create Database and Tables. Once you've downloaded and saved that file, you can open it within Mysql Workbench here. So just browse to the location where it is, and then click on the file, and then click Open. You'll see a file like this. This contains a range of SQL statements, and it might look very confusing to you. That's okay. We'll go through what each of these statements mean later in the course, but for now, the only purpose of this file is to create the tables and the data that you need to actually start running SQL. So first, what you need to do is select and highlight the first line here that says Create Database Car Sales. Then click on the first lightning bolt icon here. There are a few lightning bolt icons, so make sure you click on the first one that says Execute the selected portion of the script. This will actually create your first database. Now, on the left here where you have schemas, click on this small icon here that's called Refresh. Your car sales database will then appear. Double click on that and it should turn bold with some few icons underneath it. Now what you can do is select all of the remaining text in this script. What the rest of this script does is it creates some tables and puts data in them. We'll cover all of these statements later in the course, but for now we just need to select them. Then click on that same lightning bolt icon. What you should see at the bottom of the screen is a small table here that has a bunch of green ticks in it in the left-hand column. This all means that the data has gone in successfully. If it doesn't, you can use the discussion area to raise some questions for us to help you resolve. So now we have some tables and some data in our database. It's time to look at that select statement. To do this, we'll need a blank screen. So click on this Query 1 tab here, and you'll get your blank screen. So let's have a look at the select statement. The select statement looks like this. It starts with the word select. Then there's a word for columns. This word here is only a placeholder. It means you should replace it with the name of the columns that you want to see. This is how you tell the database what columns that you want to see. But we have the columns. How do we know what table they're in? The next word is the word from. This allows you to specify where you want to get the data from. Then you have the word table here, which is another placeholder. This can be replaced with the name of the table that you're getting data from. Now let's see an actual example. This code here shows a select statement. I've entered in the make ID and the make name columns. You can specify more than one column here. You just need to separate them with a comma. Then I have the word from, and then I've put in the word make, because make is the name of the table that these columns are in. So just to repeat, we're getting data from the make table, and the data we're getting is in the make ID and the make name columns. It doesn't matter here if these words are in uppercase or lowercase. The code will still work. Finally, we have a semicolon at the end of the statement. This is used to separate one statement from another. For now, we're only running one statement, but it's a good habit to get into. So now we've written the statement, how do we see the data in the database that this statement would show? We run the statement. To run the statement, we click on this lightning bolt here, which will execute this statement. At the bottom of the screen here, you'll see some results. You can see that it has shown the results of the statement in a table with the columns that we've specified. We have the make ID column here and the make name column here. So that's how you can get data from a database. In the next lessons, we'll take a look at more examples of the select statement.